Welcome to today's lesson where we're going to look at Vikings and who they really were. We're going to locate some of their settlements, we're going to explore their way of life, but we're going to talk about the impact they've had on history. When we talk about origins, we're talking about the northern parts of Europe. The parts that are rocky, they are messy, they aren't the greatest. You can make a bit of farmland, but you got to look elsewhere. So as a result, we end up with a group of people who lived their lives farming and as craftsmen, but had to find other ways to make their income. And that led to them encountering a lot of civilizations and really having an impact on history and pop culture. When we talk about the stereotype, we always see the horns, we always see the arms, we always see the axes and the swords. But in reality, Vikings were more complex than that. Although they fought in unconventional ways, they didn't wear horns. They were very much like you and I, except they lived a different style of life. They saw things a little differently, they had a different belief system, and they were terrifying. One reason people believed they had the horns was because when they came on their Viking longships with the dragons on the prow out of a storm into a monastery, people believed the devil themselves had come. So as a result, they'd like to draw these pagan people with horns, although they were quite sophisticated. If we look at their real lifestyle, this is more like a Viking village. There are wives, children, elderly, people of all kinds, and they're making things and they're selling things. They are living just like everyone else did. They were farmers. They were metalworkers. They were craftsmen, they were traders, they were fishermen, and athletes. So they did a lot of things that everyone else did. The popular image is only one small piece of it. So for your first shout out, I wanted you to stop and think about what did Vikings do most of the time. Pause the video and think for a moment. If you said farmers, metalworkers, craftsmen, traders, fishermen, and athletes, you'd be correct. So if we think about their legacy, they were more than just warriors. Their technology for ships led the way to world exploration. We began to steal the idea of how they built their boats to travel across the sea. The modern canoe is based on this concept. We also look at language. There are many words would not have without the impact of the Vikings. To give, window, and dream. These are the common words that come from Viking influence. And that's only a couple. There are many, many more. They also gave us the comb. They had long hair, combs made sense. And feudalism. Because they attacked so many people, people began to come together in new ways, led to new forms of government, changed the way things were before that. So, I want you to stop and think about the popular image of the Viking with the horns and the axes and the beards. Is it a fair description of their impact on European history?